Hi, this is Will Smith. Happy Canada Day. Today. I just want to talk about an author. I want to read from her new book, which is called Garden Earth. It's by Elizabeth Woodworth. If you can see it there, and it's just come out this year, and it's a fabulous book. You've got to read it if you live in Canada, because we need a vision in this country of where we're going. I can't even look at what they're doing now. Anyway, Elizabeth also wrote this book, which is called 9/11 Unmasked. I hope you can see it there. She, it's a compilation of reports, investigative reports into 9/11, into the detonation. I mean, the detonation of the twin towers. Yeah, that's how I think of it. Um, anyway, the reason I bring that up is that is also a really good book because your mind will be changed when you read that book. It's all perfectly documented and it's consensus. These are consensus panels, so the conclusions that they came to are real. They're not just made up. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about Garden Earth. I don't know about you, but I'm just at the point now where they roll out the Baal and the Moloch guys and all this stuff. I don't want to be any part of that. I want to be part of the network of people who see the new planet and who believe in our interaction with the planet, who understand that there's more to it than what we see, than what our science sees. So today I'm just going to read from this book a little bit. I'm going to read I decided that I'd read the blurbs on the back. And I think that's what other people already think. We have reached the end of a global experiment. We have moved away from the soil and into the cities, trading intimacy with the earth for the efficiency of concrete. We have lost our wisdom tradition and suffer spiritual disconnection with antidepressants. Our vast urban sprawl is unsustainable. Since World War II, we have lost 80% of our small farms to an industrial global food trade that pollutes our soil and depletes our water, depends on fragile global supply chains facing war and climate disruptions. Millions of city dwellers yearn to live closer to nature. The land is calling them home. This timely book prepares us to leave the city and embrace the self-reliant life of farming, provides the spiritual foundation for a rural future, yet is grounded in practical reality, shows us how to finally create a restorative ecological civilization. In these pages, you will learn to recover the nature mind of indigenous people to guide your actions and your life. Restore rural communities through smart farming and ancient regenerative practices. Garden Earth is a manifesto for people ready to reverse the trend towards as globalization. It is a unique resource for a mass movement back to small, self-sufficient farming communities. And then this is a quote. Something is very wrong. Our children are depressed and suicidal. Might we still experience a sense of connection that is grounded in an immersive versus exploitive view of the natural world? David Bowring, MD, former medical health officer for British Columbia. Woodworth's latest book serves as a guide to a renewed nature-based civilization. She has written a book that Thomas Berry would have called a great work. That's Peter D. Carter, MD, Climate Emergency Institute, Canada. Elizabeth Woodworth, Canadian author and essayist, spent a 30-year career in information science. Her books deal with international justice, nuclear disarmament, climate change, and food security. You can find her works on integrate.substack.com. Now, today I'm just going to read you No, I'm not going to read you from inside the book, I don't think. I'm just going to read you, maybe I will a little bit. I'm going to read you the table of contents so you get an overview of what all the topics that she's written about. If this book doesn't get you excited right now, I don't know what I don't know how much how much farther down I read that 10,000 Canadians are leaving Canada every month right now and it's not stopping. So I think we just have to have a vision that, and we just need to make a decision that we're going to outlast whatever these guys are up to. It looks more like looting to me than anything else. I mean, this check that got sent out, it looks like you're walking into a place that's getting looted, and some guy hands you a cell phone. Or would you like a Samsung or an Apple? Okay, so the table of contents, part one, is our original character to be grounded in nature, listening to nature, our heritage, nature as the ground of human consciousness. The 13th, the greatest of centuries. Part two, the dimming of nature, our downfall. Globalization, a threat to our way of life. The role of the scientific revolution. The rise and roles of history, cities, and centralized power. Part 3, Nature's Ancient Wisdom Tradition, Our Saving Grace. The Perennial Philosophy, a tradition to protect nature and society. Gardens of Antiquity, Symbols of the Sacred Natural Order. Part 4, Our Antidote to Globalization, Moving to the Land. Small is beautiful, preparing to live in a decentralized rural economy. Moving to the land, living once more with nature. Part 5, Why Choose a Nature-Based Civilization? Nature as the source of values and ethics. Is just behavior embedded in nature? The land is our home towards an ecological civilization. On second thought, I'm going to read you from this chapter about globalization, page 63. Chapter 4, Globalization, a Threat to Our Way of Life. Nearly a millennium after the 13th century, we have moved the food supply from the county parish to the outside world. What is globalization? Globalization is the world's growth and economic dependence on the international exchange of goods, services, and capital. Expanding over decades, business and technology have developed vast international trade and power on a global scale. This has been especially true in the movement of food products, which has undermined national food independence and security. Since the 1940s, the US, Canada, and Britain have lost 75 to 80% of their family farms to industrial agriculture, which includes concentrated animal feeding operations. As a result, many rural people have moved to the cities for employment. For most of human history, less than 5% of the world's population lived in urban areas. By 1900, 40% of the US population lived in cities, and today an astonishing 80% of people in the US, Canada, Britain, France, and Spain live in urban areas, while in Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Japan, and Australia, urbanization is closer to 90%. Over the last century, we have moved so far from nature that it is not even possible to grasp our loss without 1. Understanding the extent of corporate globalization and trade, and 2. Going back in time to visit life in a self-sufficient rural society. I'm going to read to you the foreword, and I'll just read until I get sick of it. So this is the foreword. Never before has there been a time in civilization when the human enterprise needed a guide to save humanity from itself in order to rescue the future. For centuries, our industrial civilization has been polluting, degrading, and destroying the natural world on which every aspect of our life depends. Elizabeth Woodworth lovingly explains that the measure of our destiny will surely be our capacity to love our home, the planet we live on. I think we have a profound disrespect for the planet we live on, and we show it every day by the way we treat her. Woodworth's latest book serves as a guide to a renewed nature based civilization. She has written a book that Thomas Berry would have called a great work. Indeed, Father Berry, who called himself a geologian and whose book, The Great Work, Our Way into the Future, was published in 2000, explained that a sustainable civilization depends on great literary works, which, though rare, have been our guides throughout history. Woodworth's mission is the same as Berry's, which, in his words, is the transition from this period of human devastation to a mutually beneficial presence on Earth, reflecting on the wonder of Earth as a garden planet. Our great work today has to do with a new understanding of our garden planet, Earth. Woodworth explains the destructiveness of economic globalization and takes us back to the traditional ideal of civilization as nature respecting small farms that sustain villages. Like Carolyn Merchant, The Death of Nature in 1980, Woodworth explains that while we have gained from the scientific revolution, it led to a dysfunctional loss of ways of being in the world. She suggests that we look at nature through a long lost lens, distinguishing between our prevailing state of mind towards nature and the ancient harmonious states of nature mind which prevailed during earlier times when we were immersed in nature and integrated with it. To restore our vital connection with nature, the later chapters relay ancient farming knowledge lost to the present. For example, soil fertility has for centuries been based on a farming partnership with livestock, from which the manure compost sustains deep soil humus that could now be widely developed to replace chemicals. Woodworth also explores profitable crops for rural communities, rural home-based businesses, living off the grid, and rejuvenating small abandoned farming towns. Woodworth also explores there are many city trades and occupations that can be transferred to serve rural communities, and also government programs that assist aspiring farmers to find land. This book offers a complete and wide-ranging proposal. Its vision is to transform a runaway high-tech society to a more realistic traditional model, one that requires the spiritual and practical wisdom that is offered here. That's enough. If that sounds good to you, go buy this book. The price is, I think it's less than $20, and I'm pretty sure she must have set that price low so that it's easily affordable, because a lot of the books I buy these days, the same size, are about twice that. So I think she wants this to get out there. I don't think she's making a pile of money on it or anything. And I really think we need something like this. When I first arrived in Canada, I was just so excited to be here. I thought it was the absolute best country in the world. And I had to get disabused of that to some extent. But I think it's all going to be okay here. It's just, I mean, we've done a lot of things that are going to be hard to get over for a while. But anyway, the whole idea of this is to actually get back to the land, because we don't even know yet how the interaction between the chlorophyll based I should just say the plants and the animals eating the plants. We don't understand that interaction. In a book that I read a long time ago, and I brought several sets of them to Canada because I was so excited about them. They're similar to this. They're called Anastasia, which means resurrection in Greek. So it's the idea that this planet is going to resurrect, and it's a new shamanic culture. It's based on the old. It's a reawakening of our memory of what's good. I mean, where we are right now, I don't know, maybe everybody uses AI. I don't like it. I heard Yuval Harari say in a speech a while ago, a long time ago, actually years ago, that AI was essentially alien technology, and the guy asked him why shouldn't we worry about that, and he said because it has no agency, but everybody can see that AI is going to have agency very quickly. So I think by getting off the social media and actually connecting to the land, we can all just be pretty much self-sufficient. And it may be hard to start that here in Canada because of some political resistance. I mean, this is the kind of thing that if we were in the Swiss democratic system, the citizens could have a referendum. They could initiate a referendum, and I don't think that's possible here. And the politicians, I don't know where their constituents are, but they don't seem to be in Canada. From what I see, they seem to be in other countries. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is a reading of Garden Earth by Elizabeth Woodworth, local author here in BC and Victoria, I think. We had her on our show. I'll try to dig up that interview and see if I can find it, because it might be interesting. We had a lot of conflict over the whole story of the Twin Towers. So anyway, thanks for listening. If you made it this far, cheers.